Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. I'm Barry Bryson, and we're continuing our study of the book of Habakkuk. And we're in Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 5. And Habakkuk has just asked his first question to God: how long are you going to put up with this? And the thing he's asking about is about the violence, the injustice, the preying upon the weak of the strong, upon the righteous of the unrighteous. How long are you gonna be the cat that just lays there basking in the sun while the mice are pillaging, the storehouse? And God gives him an answer, and he says, "Not long, because I'm going to take care of it right now." Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 5. We'll read through verse 11. Look among the nations, observe. Be astonished and wonder, because I'm doing something in your days you would not believe me if you were told. It's not exactly true, because he is being told and he does believe it. But it is an astonishing thing. Nothing he would have factored out on his own. This is God's plan, not a human plan. Um, For behold, I am raising up the Chaldeans, that fierce and impetuous people, strong-willed people, who march throughout the earth to seize dwelling places which are not theirs. They are dreaded and feared. Their justice and authority originate in themselves. Their horses are swifter than leopards, keener than wolves in the evening. Their horsemen come galloping. Their horsemen come galloping from afar. They fly like an eagle swooping down to devour. All of them come for violence. Their horde faces forward. The horde of their faces moves forward. They collect captives like sand. They mock at kings and rulers and are a laughing matter to them. They laugh at every fortress and heap up rubble to capture it. Then they will sweep through like the wind and pass on. They will be held guilty, those whose strength is their God. Okay, so a lot here. I love the fact that God says to him, look at this, because you wouldn't believe it even if you were told. And of course, because God says it, he does believe it. And God does tell him, but God makes it plain. My thoughts are not your thoughts. My ways are not your ways, Isaiah 55. Um, you're not going to figure me out. You're not. Um, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, and you better believe it's going to happen because I'm the one saying it. Um, and we should get that. We should absolutely get that. That in the same way, I can never make even the smartest dog understand the concept of evaporation, for instance. There are things God does that even if He sat me down and explained them to me, I don't have the brain cells to process it. And I have to be okay with that. And sometimes, even if I could understand it the way Job probably could have, it's not mine to know. And God's never going to tell me. And I have to be okay with that too. And that's where He starts. And then He says, I'm raising up the Chaldeans. Now, He doesn't say Babylonians, but He means Babylonian. All the way back to the book of Genesis, Abraham, who came from Ur of the Chaldees. The Semitic peoples, the family of Semitic peoples inhabiting um, inhabiting Mesopotamia are often referred to as Chaldeans, and and um, um, and so he's raising them up, and he's clearly describing the Babylonians. The question is, do they have this military power yet, or are they about to get it? And we don't know, but he does describe their military might, and he describes them in quite a fearful way, and talks about how everybody else shakes in their boots. He describes them in the way that the nations of Canaan felt about the invading army of Joshua and the Israelites back in the book of Joshua, and how they were shaking in their boots. And there's a lot of animals here, wolves, leopards, eagles. Um, he basically describes them as the Mossad, the Mongol horde, and Hell's Angels all at the same time. They're going to come in and they're going to tear stuff up and they're going to haul you off, and there's nothing they're going to do about it. You're going to do about it. they're going to sweep through like the wind, and it's going to be an irresistible force. That's what I'm going to do. You want to know what I'm going to do for the sinful people? This is what I'm going to do for the sinful people. And then there's the last line, which I don't think Habakkuk listens to. He says, "They will be held guilty, those whose strength is their God." He had said earlier their strength is within themselves. Um, and they are their own authority. They're so strong they don't have to claim anybody as their authority. Their strength is their own authority. Their strength is their God. And he says in the very last line that they're going to be held accountable. They're going to be held guilty. But Habakkuk, as we might imagine, has already panicked and hasn't listened to that last line. And so we'll see his second question that is prompted by God's answer next time. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word.